What is happening to me?
Did you miss me, Spidey?
I'm losing my mind. I am totally out of control. I gotta fix whatever this is right now.
Final semester MIT.
Dad, who do you think is actually watching these?
Maybe someone.
Okay, well, bye, someone.
What the? Dr. Banner, you found a way to suppress mutating DNA, right?
If you see me with this stuff, run.
So could you get rid of the bad aspects but keep the good?
How would you decide what parts of nature are good or bad?
Sorry about that.
You're not one of my students, are you?
It appears we're faced with a threat we can't control. One we can't even see. You're the only one who's immune to it. You're the only one who can sense it.
And what do you think they're looking for?
Oh, see, you stumbled across my board. I'm not one of those weirdos, I swear.
He's a little weird. I'm MJ.
You two don't know each other?
Yo, Spider-Man, you okay? Did you get rid of that monster inside you?
Think I might go see how MJ's doing.
You're not gonna get away with this.
But he might.
I didn't know you could get that big.
Hey!
But you're in danger. You just have to trust me.
Fine.
This whole thing can get really scary.
Who the hell is that?
Who the hell are you?
Frank, please. I don't have anywhere else to go.
By the people who love you,
Just gonna let him go by himself?
love you because you're you.
If you're gonna do something, you better do it now.
Never forget that. No matter how powerful you become.
I miss you, mate. Huh. All right, just give me a sec. Give me a sec. I'm not in high school anymore. Oh. Did you stretch? You a big stretcher? It's so good for you. You ready?
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Marvel and Sony finally released the official trailer for Spider-Man Brand New Day, so we will break it all down. There are a whole bunch of Easter eggs and references. As per usual, Marvel and Sony have tuned this trailer, edited it to be as misleading as possible, so you have almost no idea what's actually happening in the movie. I'm also doing a giveaway for movie tickets. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber to my channel and just post your favorite moments from the trailer in the comments on this video. What I'll do is just keep the giveaway open until the movie comes out and name winners every couple of videos from the comments on previous videos. Most of this trailer, as you could tell, is the same as the leaked trailer from last week, so some of you have probably seen this trailer already like 4 or 5 billion times like myself. Mostly for science though. Sony, please don't send the police after us. Probably two of the really biggest things in this is that we see actual Hulk hulking out and more of Sadie Sink's mystery character. I think some more confirmations about who she's playing too, so we'll just go through the trailer shot by shot. Zoom and enhance on Ned's board here too. Some of you may have spotted this big Miles Morales Easter egg. Latino parkour prodigy is meant to be a reference to Miles Morales in the comics. There was also a deleted scene Easter egg in Spider-Man Homecoming where the Prowler talked about his nephew, and that was meant to be the live-action MCU Miles Morales. But they have not done anything with that particular name drop since Spider-Man Homecoming. They actually start the trailer later in the movie after he's gone through his cocoon phase in his evolution, and he's starting to get stronger and evolve more spider powers. That's why he's crashing out here as he's trying to stop the Scorpion from hurting these guards. Like, he's just doing this normal friendly neighborhood Spider-Man save here. The Scorpion already has his mechanical suit, so we know it's a little bit later in the movie. But the reason why he fails the landing here, like why he literally crashes into the save trying to stop Scorpion, and why Scorpion is able to get the drop on him, is because he can't control his extra strength. He's just not used to the extra powers yet. You also notice the street signs for all the businesses here in this area are very clear, like everything is in focus. Subs, Gen's Pizza. This is basically seems like the area around where he lives too. Anytime I see a pizza restaurant in a Spider-Man movie, you know it is pizza time.
He stole that guy's pizza.
We get a little bit of voiceover from him as Scorpion grabs him with his new mechanical tail. What is happening to me? This is him trying to figure out what's happening with his mutation, probably before he goes to Bruce Banner. Him saying, "Did you miss me, Spidey?" implies that this is the first time that they've actually met face to face since he got him put in prison during Spider-Man Homecoming. He almost gets him with a stinger on his scorpion tail. The interesting thing about his scorpion venom in the comics, I don't know if this is going to be true of the MCU version, but it's able to affect the Hulk, his scorpion venom. It can actually pierce the Hulk's skin. But at least based on the progression of the footage here, I don't think the Scorpion is anywhere near the actual Hulk fight when Spider-Man has to face off against the Hulk. Later when he says, "I'm losing my mind," you see inside the mask, one of the reasons why I think they're showing you inside the mask is so they can show you these eye transitions when his spider Hulk out mode happens. It's sort of like his instant kill mode, but it's now happening on a biological level. We saw this in the previous shows, is when his eyes turn red. And just like a regular Hulk out mode, you see he gets extra strong and just yoinks the hell out of Scorpion here and throws him by the other end of his tail. But he also implies that he kind of loses control of himself like the Hulk loses control of himself. Like the Hulk's mind takes over, Banner loses control when he Hulks out. Spider-Man is kind of having the same situation here. So it does make sense that he would go to Bruce Banner to figure out what's happening with him here because it seems like it's similar. But obviously it doesn't seem like it has anything to do with a gamma transformation, like it's not a gamma-based transformation that he's going through. He throws the Scorpion into the cop car too, destroying the cop car and probably really hurting Scorpion. So it's a little bit like Tobey Maguire when he got the symbiote suit too and started to go crazy, like he got extra strong and started to lose it on people, hurting people way more than he wanted to. I know there have been a lot of theories about what they're doing with the symbiote in this movie. I don't think this has anything to do with the symbiote. They're not trying to hide symbiote from us right in this moment here. Like, it's not secretly a symbiote situation. We get another Instagram video from Ned and MJ, and they say that it's their final semester at MIT, so they've been at MIT for 4 years now. So I think this does confirm the timeline of the movie if it's their final semester, and that's why they're back in New York City later in the movie. Previous news releases for this on different websites were saying that it was set 6 months later, so I think maybe this just confirms the timeline a little bit more. We get another moment of Peter learning about his new biological powers, and it's his organic web shooters here that wind up causing his regular new web shooters that he's created to fly off of his wrist because the webbing is now pushing through the holes. He has the spider holes that Andrew Garfield wanted to see so much during Spider-Man No Way Home. I just want to see the holes. I just want to see the holes. Does it come out of any other places? Have you ever had a web block? Too bad Tobey Maguire isn't standing nearby for him to ask all these questions to. He goes to see Bruce Banner, and we get a longer version of the scene we saw in the previous trailer, and he shows him his gamma inhibitor. So if you didn't see the Shang-Chi movie or the She-Hulk TV series, that's when they really got into the idea of this. It got damaged and disabled during the She-Hulk series, and his blood infected her, and that's how she got her gamma transformations. She became She-Hulk.
If you see me with this stuff, run.
Love the very dad-coded humor here where he's trying to be funny, but like it's not that funny. Peter does chuckle at it a little bit. Mark Ruffalo actually said that when his son was younger in real life, when he first started playing the Hulk a long time ago in that first Avengers movie, he did the same thing for like all of his son's friends at their kindergarten, and they just completely freaked out. But in the context of the movie, this just literally foreshadows what happens later in the movie once he does Hulk out and does do this to Peter, basically thunderclapping him. Don't worry, we will get to that. You also notice he's wearing the ESU Empire State University shirt to disguise that he is not a student at Empire State University. He might actually be taking some courses here, but he's not a student in his class, which he clocks pretty instantly. Like, you're definitely not one of my students, are you? Empire State was the college that he went to in the comics that they went to during the Tobey Maguire era. Maybe if he's not a student during the events of this movie, later after Avengers Secret Wars, like after the MCU sort of writes itself and they do the little soft reboot in Spider-Man 5, he will be an actual student at Empire State University. Then he basically asks Bruce Banner, how do you keep all the good parts of your Hulk transformations, but not the bad parts, like the mind of Banner in the body of the Hulk, which is literally what he was doing the past couple of movies as Professor Hulk. Like that's the best version of Hulk. Not the best version if you ask Hulk fans, though. They definitely don't want Professor Hulk to ever come back. Thankfully, though, they are using this movie to do a creative reset on the Hulk character, taking him back into Savage Hulk mode, like they're doing a creative reset for the Spider-Man character just in general. Bruce Banner then tells him, how do you decide, though, what is the good part and what is the bad part? Like, what if you take away one of the good parts when you thought it was a bad part? So part of his big arc in this movie will be learning what the bad parts and the good parts of his spider transformations are. We get a couple more scenes of him trying to get used to his new organic webbing. It's way stronger, he's way stronger, so all of his swings are just way off, like he hasn't figured out the physics of how this all works together yet. We get a little comedy of him running into a pigeon mid-air, and he crashes into either a wedding reception or just like some really posh group dinner that's happening here. Like, oh, I'm so sorry here, this very expensive dinner that you're having in my Spider-Man suit. The only good part about this on Spider-Man's part is that he's actually become famous around the city. They gave him the key to the city. So it seems like most people in New York actually really liked Spider-Man. So this is actually be like the highlight of their day. Like, oh my God, I was eating lunch and all of a sudden Spider-Man just showed up crashing through the window. It was great. We get that same voiceover from William Metzger when he's in his office and he's talking to him about the threat that they cannot see, but then also says that Spider-Man is the only thing that can sense it and that is immune to it. And based on the way they cut the trailer, they really want you to think that it's her telepathy. So I think this is another confirmation or another tick in the favor that she might be Jean Grey of the new version of the X-Men that we'll eventually see in the MCU after Avengers Secret Wars. And I think what they're trying to imply here is that it's because of his new spider transformations, one of his evolutions has just left him immune to her telepathy for some reason, which is not a comic book thing. I don't think that he's ever actually been immune to her in the comics before. Does this mean that he's immune to all telepaths like Professor X? Because theoretically, that should be the case.
Wanna come out where I can see you, Charles?
We get a real quick scene of her, and it's very Void-coded from the Thunderbolts movie with Bob Sentry and the Void. The Void personality was like completely blacked out, but at least the way they're filming this, I think it's just a trick of the light. It's actually Sadie Sink's face underneath this. She hasn't transformed or like nothing has changed about the way she actually looks. They're just making this in a clever way so that you can't actually see her face under this. But at least they're making it seem like when she closes her fist here, she's actually using her telekinesis, another Jean Grey power, to flip that tank. We also saw in the previous trailer with the old lady that didn't know what she was doing piloting that, it seemed like she was also mind controlling her to pilot that. So it seems like she's been engineering this prison break, making it bust through the wall. And then you also see the middle of what looks like Rikers Island here, the prison, with this giant blast wave that goes across the entire city, which also feels very Sentry and Void-coded from the Thunderbolts movie. We saw the Void absorb all of New York City and pull it into the Void realm. Now it's happening, but it's telepathy, and she seems like she's taking over all these people's minds. Notice you see them all freezing in place as you see this wave of telepathy across them, but Spider-Man is not because he's immune, and he looks around and sees everybody frozen. So it's like a giant version of that scene from the X-Men movies with Professor X doing that to all the people that were in the museum. Basically, Sadie Sink in Professor X during that X-Men movie were giving them all mental command, like commanding their minds to force them to stop. So everybody is just like doing the freeze here, but their minds are still kind of active, like in the background, like passengers in their own bodies. Actually rewatching this though, when you look at the Punisher, he actually moves forward as everyone else moves backward. So I think this also soft confirms that Punisher is helping Sadie Sink's character, and that's why he is not caught in this mind blast wave and frozen like everybody else. That's actually a pretty powerful person, a pretty powerful telepath that can do that on a minute scale. Like, you mind control everybody except for like a couple people in the city. Spider-Man then runs out of the wedding that he just crashed into accidentally and sees this line of the person, I think it's Sadie Sink, jumping from mind to mind up to the helicopter here using a tracking system that he's built into his new Spider-Man suit. So it does have a little bit of tech built into his actual suit. We see Sadie Sink's character jump into the helicopter pilot's mind and take off that way. Just married, John and Lucy. Sorry, John and Lucy, for ruining your wedding. Do not worry, you'll tell this story for the rest of your lives. Everybody will love it. We were in the middle of getting married, then Spider-Man and a person he was fighting crashed the wedding. It was great. Then the trailer cuts to a completely different part of the movie with him going to the party in Ned and MJ's apartment. We've seen scenes of this in the previous trailer. While this is happening, he also talks to William Metzger as part of that conversation that just continues saying, what do you think the person is looking for? What is Sadie Sink looking for in the movie? That is still probably one of the questions of the movie. We don't really know who the actual main villain is. They've been so mysterious about it. Is there even a main villain in the movie? Is the main villain going to be grief like WandaVision? They kind of seem like they're really coding depression as like a real big problem that Spider-Man is happening during this, and one of the reasons for his evolution, the spider transformations he goes through. So is depression going to be the main villain of the movie? Wasn't that kind of the main villain of the Thunderbolts movie too? They kind of did the same deal with the Thunderbolts. They edited the trailer in a really clever, funny way to make the joke about what Sadie Sink is looking for, questioning that while he looks at Ned's conspiracy board, trying to find who Spider-Man really is, trying to find his identity. MJ also seems like she's kind of in on it too, but it's really Ned's deal. Him trying to explain really quickly that he's not a total weirdo, but they had adventures with Spider-Man when they were in high school, and they want to find him to thank him, and they're just really, really big on Spider-Man, like they're huge Spider-Man fans. Sony and Marvel literally just revealed that bonus video of the Spidey tracker that Ned makes in-universe, like it's in the actual movie, the plot of the movie, that he makes a tracker for Spider-Man around the city, so it's somehow part of the actual plot. There's a whole bunch of Easter eggs in that separate video, so I'll link it at the end of this. I posted it yesterday.
About Spider-Man. He inspired me to develop this.
Notice Ned questions, you two don't know each other. I think the idea is that eventually by the end of this movie, she will have figured out who Spider-Man is if Sadie Sink's character doesn't telepathically put the information back in MJ and Ned's minds, or they don't figure it out on their own either way. We see that scene with Amon Esfandi, Ezra Bridger from the live-action Ahsoka series, who's MJ's current boyfriend when this is happening. He's completely torn up about it, Peter's character. As we've seen in the previous trailers, he's still completely in love with her, but he never gave her the letter that he wrote. I did a breakdown of what's in that letter. They released a whole bunch of extra information from the actual movie. Not totally sure what's happening here, but I think the idea is that he just crashes trying to use his new organic webbing. Like, the organic webbing is all over the alleyway here, and you notice that Sadie Sink's character has jumped into somebody else's body and is making fun of him, watching him do this, just trying to figure things out. Notice she asks, did you get rid of that monster inside of you? Which I think is a sly wink at him having his own Hulk out mode, like the Hulk is inside Bruce Banner, basically, the mind of the Hulk. Meaning that they have encountered each other before this, and he has had another moment like that where his eyes go red and he goes into like his Spidey instant kill Hulk out mode. She jumps rapidly between a bunch of different people on the street, and I love the way the camera rotates around. Like, this is actually a really cool way to do a scene here, where she's talking to Spider-Man, but through a couple different people's bodies. She then says, I think I'll go see what MJ is doing, making Spider-Man freak out and think that she's going to hurt MJ, so he goes to her apartment, freaking her out briefly, but she seems kind of in it, like she knows Spider-Man from their adventures when she was in high school, so she's been with Spider-Man before. They web-slung with him in the mask on. She probably actually remembers that from the end of Spider-Man Far From Home. We get a completely different scene of him inside Bruce Banner's office, it seems like, with him transforming into Hulk, saying, you're not going to get away with this. But when he says he might, she's jumped into Bruce Banner's mind and caused him to rip off his gamma inhibitor, and she's forcing him to Hulk out. So this is how he becomes Savage Hulk again. Sadie Sink's character telepathically forces him to become Hulk again. At least the way they cut the trailer, they make it seem like she's raising her arms to make him Hulk out, but that could be from completely different scenes. And I think this is one of the first times that we've actually seen him legitimately Hulk out in this slow way, like an actual transformation, in a good long while. Most of the time, we just see him after he's become Professor Hulk or when he's just Banner. Usually the reason why Marvel does it this way is because it's really expensive to do Hulk special effects. Notice he says, I didn't know you could get that big. I think that's for two reasons. One, because he's mostly just seen Professor Hulk, and Professor Hulk is like a slightly smaller, not quite as strong form. The Savage Hulk is meant to be a stronger version of the Hulk. The madder he gets, the stronger he gets, and he's just really, really mad right now, which is why it seems like he's so much bigger than Spider-Man has seen in person before. He gives Spider-Man a big old thunderclap. Notice there's webbing all around him too, so it seems like Spider-Man has tried to web him up unsuccessfully before this. The only real advantage that Spider-Man has in situations like this against people like the Hulk is that he's so quick and so agile, he can do everything he can to keep the Hulk from actually getting his hands on him. But if the Hulk were to get his hands on Spider-Man, like around his neck, that would be it. Like, it would be over for Spider-Man. We get that awkward scene of MJ just going with the flow, like, okay, you're saying I'm in danger, but it's not from the Hulk, it's from Sadie Sink's character because of that earlier scene. I think I'll go see what MJ's up to. They web-sling together again since Spider-Man Far From Home, but this time it actually has more vibes of classic Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst MJ. Spider-Man then takes her to Frank Castle Punisher's lair to protect her, like, please, please, please help me out. She's the only place I can take her. You're the only person that can help me with this. My assumption is that he wants to go out and deal with Sadie Sink's character, whatever's happening with her in the movie, and that's what this is all for.
By the people who love you.
Just gonna let him go by himself?
You also notice during this part of the trailer, they weave in the voiceover from Aunt May from Spider-Man No Way Home, the Great Power, Great Responsibility speech, but I think the idea is they maybe got her to come back to record new lines for that to make it seem like they happened during Spider-Man No Way Home, but really like it's actually new stuff that she's recording. Aunt May is talking to him basically about how things are going to get real scary, can get real scary real fast for the people he loves around him. And the idea is that he's misinterpreted her speech, thinking that he has to be Spider-Man 24/7. That is his great responsibility now because of his great power, but it's pushed him away from his friends when really Aunt May didn't mean for him to push away all of the people close to him. We also see it looks like MJ is the one to convince Punisher to go help Spider-Man out, so it seems like she's a bigger part of the plot than we actually thought. Like, hey, aren't you going to go help Spider-Man out? We see him have another one of his instant kill Spidey Hulk out modes against the Hand inside the prison here. We've seen versions of this scene in the previous trailers too. And he gives him a new Spider-Man move, a giant web tornado. We get the rest of her great power, great responsibility speech as he kisses and touches her gravestone. We've seen versions of this scene in the previous trailers too. Another version of the scene, the continued fight between Hulk and Spider-Man as they crash out of the building in the middle of their fight. I think part of the idea they're implying too is that Sadie Sink's character also loses control of the Hulk because she can't totally control the Hulk's mind after his anger scales up enough that his power scales up to the point that she's no longer able to control him. Another good example of this is during World War Hulk in the comics. He's able to break through Doctor Strange's spells and Professor X's telepathy too, just because he has become so mad and so strong. And they end the trailer with that tag scene, that funny moment of him stretching and limbering up before he fights the damage control guards, joking about how he's not a young kid anymore because we're in the next trilogy, like we're in the college-age Spider-Man years. He is not wrong either. I can still run almost as fast as I did in college, but I definitely have to stretch way more before I try. You also notice in this scene he still has his mechanical web shooter, so I'm assuming it's earlier in the movie. You can kind of chart the timeline of the trailer based on organic web shooters or mechanical web shooters. One of the other interesting things too is that during his earlier fight with the Hand, he doesn't have his mask on yet either, so those people at the Hand characters will learn who Spider-Man is. But I kind of think we're all expecting everybody to eventually learn, or like the important people that are close to him to learn who Spider-Man is by the end of the movie, but not every single person on planet Earth. No big surprise that the end of the movie, or the post-credit scene, will have some sort of lead-in for Avengers Doomsday, because this is like the last big Marvel movie before the Avengers Endgame re-release, which will also have some extra material tying it to Doomsday, but I think they'll have some sort of post-credit scene for Spider-Man Brand New Day that will explain what Spider-Man is doing during the events of Doomsday, because there have been a lot of rumors, haven't been confirmed, but a lot of rumors that he won't be the main Spider-Man of Doomsday. It'll actually be Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, and whatever he's doing that keeps him busy during Doomsday, they'll just explain in whatever the post-credit scene is for the movie. If that's true, my early theory is that it has something to do with Sadie Sink's character if she's a version of Jean Grey in whatever multiverse shenanigans are happening that keep them trapped wherever they wind up being. Everybody post all your reactions in the comments below and let me know if you spotted any Easter eggs or references in the new trailer footage that I didn't talk about in this video. Now that they've started the official press tour, they'll be releasing trailers and clips on a more regular basis, so I'll try to keep up with everything and do videos for all the stuff that they do drop. Hopefully we'll also get some more Avengers Doomsday trailer stuff soon too. I literally just did a video for that leaked trailer that just came out. Click here for that, and click here for all my other Spider-Man Brand New Day videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.